1954, Brown versus Board of Education. It's been a half century since the Supreme Court's landmark decision, a decision that broke the spine of legalized racial discrimination in public education. The early activists, Charles Hamilton Houston, Thurgood Marshall, Robert Carter, and others, invested years of legal blood, sweat, and tears to win that case, and today, all students are legally entitled to fair access. Racial discrimination, of course, did not end with the Brown decision, and today, questions about inequality and access to education still beg for answers, especially in the South. America's worst school dropout rates are concentrated in the South. Students in the South score the lowest on national tests in almost every grade in every primary subject, and Southern states have the lowest percentage of adults with a college degree. Because they are the future, young people in particular have a need to understand the history, causes, and consequences of education inequality. Inequality that still exists today in various forms, including poverty, understaffed schools, immigration status, and class issues. Those young people who aspire to public service and activism today need to be encouraged and empowered to help bring about change. But who can bring that kind of encouragement? How do we inspire the next generation of leaders? The Southern Education Foundation. For 137 years, SEF has been at the forefront of efforts to advance fairness, achievement, and excellence in education. Its mission? Finding ways to reform education policy and practice and broaden access to quality education in the American South. SEF accomplishes its mission through a variety of programs designed, among other things, to help improve teaching and testing, strengthen historically black colleges and universities, and promote human rights and better education. As the 50-year anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education drew near, SEF's leadership saw an opportunity. What if they could bring together each summer a group of young people who were genuinely interested in activism and education, who wanted to further the work of so many who had gone before?
We wanted to honor the 50-year anniversary of Brown, not only in words and publications, but in deeds. And so we selected a group of 34 young people and brought them together for an opportunity to learn and to serve in a variety of settings.
On June 2, 2004, SEF kicked off the Education Summer Internship Program. Nominations and applications came from colleges and universities across the South, and a diverse group of students were selected.
We wanted to give people a sense of the important issues of education inequality, the causes and consequences of them, and the fact that there are many different ways that all of us can contribute to reducing education inequality and improving the quality of education for us all.
At the June 2004 kickoff event, 34 students came together for the first time, full of expectancy and enthusiasm. They came from a number of different states and with a wide range of interests and aspirations. Within minutes, they began to bond and dialogue about their adventure ahead.
I think I've always been involved in programs structured to do social change. Since I was 13, and when I found about this program, it was just like I jumped on. It was like an opportunity to meet people, to learn from them, to get inspired all over again.
One thing I think I can do is that I'm definitely a fighter, and this is something I believe in, and I'm hoping that maybe we can find some technological advances we can use to help either spread this message or to get kids involved at a younger age, to get information out to some of our high school students to help them get interested in this subject in our freshmen in college.
My mother's a teacher, so she's always exposed me to her field. I've always went to her classes and helped her teach and things of that sort, and just found a passion there. It's important just to equalize education. That was the whole point. This education wasn't equal. The separate but equal wasn't working. So in order to have everyone have equal opportunity at education, schools needed to be integrated.
And so I wanted to come into this program to learn more about how I could be effective, more of how I could be, instead of a talker, I could be a doer.
I plan on gaining a lot of experience, getting some people to invest in me, to make an investment in my career goals, my aspirations. And that's what, for the most part, that's what this program will accomplish for me. Mainly, I saw the need to help out today's youth. I know that with my own personal experience, I feel that I've been passed over, and I didn't want to have that go on any further, so I decided to just make a change, start with myself, and help out the youth. And I see in my community, it's a totally different outlook on life, and it's sad. It's really sad, and if it's not enough for me just to make it. If everyone around me is not going to make it, then it's not going to mean the same thing. So that's where my dedication stems from.
At the kickoff event, students were challenged by SEF's leadership to make the most of their summer.
So this particular experience that you're about to walk into, this is the first time for us, as it is the first time for you, I think.
We look to you, the next generation, to pave the way for a brighter and more prosperous future, and to hold up the mantle that SEF has stood for all these years on behalf of people who all too often are left behind and denied opportunity for fair and equal development of their educational talents. There is a powerful story of women and men of diverse stripes who put themselves on the line in order to challenge one of the most entrenched, unfair, and unequal systems of inequality that the world has ever seen, called American racial segregation. And so we wanted to honor them, and we could think of no way better than to get a next wave of troops lined up to continue the battle that our foremothers and forefathers began 50 years ago in Brown.
Also present at the June event were placement site coordinators from organizations across the South where interns would work during the summer. These coordinators and other Southern leaders provided their perspectives on Brown and the work ahead. Like the interns, they were eager to meet one another, dialogue together, and learn more about their respective programs. Among the presenters who shared with the interns were Elaine Jones of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Leroy Johnson of Southern Echo, Tisha Tallman of the Mexican American Legal Defense Fund, and former Mississippi Governor William Winter.
One person makes a difference. One vote counts. One vote matters. One individual makes a huge difference. An individual with a commitment, a will, an idea, who has prepared herself or himself, makes a huge difference. Someone once said, indeed, it's the only thing that ever happens. Young black man, born in 1895. This is the year 1922. He's at Harvard Law School. So brilliant, he's editor of the Law Review. First editor and first black on the Harvard Law Review. 1922, Charles Hamilton Houston. Charles Hamilton Houston was mentored by a later Supreme Court justice who was then on the faculty at Harvard Law School, Felix Frankfurter. Felix Frankfurter in the late 40s hired the first African-American clerk on the Supreme Court, Bill Pullman, that I had the pleasure of being his special assistant when Bill Pullman was Secretary of Transportation in the Ford administration.
This program is going, in the next 5 years, it's going to be as big as anything we know. The idea, because it's going to catch fire across the country. And I think that's going to be, there's a new spirit, and it's going to be a real rebirth of engaging of our youth, because our youth have made the difference in social change in this nation. Historically, we fight all the wars, all the movements. We don't come in with preordained ideas, have a sense of fairness, what's right, what's just, courageous, willing to put themselves on the line. My generation of youth did it, brought in the 60s. You know, this generation will do its thing with a little nudge and a little help from us. So that's what this is about. When you bring about systemic change, Lynn Huntley mentioned it also in her discussion, it's not done instantly. It's not done overnight. It's strategic, it takes planning, it takes execution. You got to implement, you got to prepare, you got to pick your battles, and the battles you pick, you got to find a way to win them. Because you go in the Supreme Court of some of these important cases you can't afford to lose, you got to find a way to win them. Thurgood Marshall and Oliver Hill and Spot Robinson and Jim Neighbor had to find a way to win Brown. Brown was a no-lose case, you can't lose it. And they didn't have a court that was with them.
Well, I think young people keep things stirred up. Right? They can make real grits, not instant grits, but real grits. They can take the time to keep stirring it. And I saw such bright young faces. Right? I saw such intelligence in the room. Right? I saw young people who were eager to learn. And when you find that, when you find young people eager to learn, it gives me a sense of what it means to really sustain community. And it's going to take those young people to do it, right? Because as we get older, we get less likely to do all the stirring, right? I used to stir grits a lot. Now, if it lump up a little bit, that's okay with me. I'd rather have a little lump and less time standing over the stove stirring them, right? But they'll keep stirring it, and I think I saw the stirring. I saw the stirring inside of the room, and I feel really, really comfortable that they will keep stirring and keep transforming community. Quality education is real for me, and I got to be a part of that. And I think that's what Brown was about.
We've come a long way. I think it can be fairly said that we have put behind us the old massive resistance idea. But what still is lacking is a full commitment to educate everyone in the best possible way. And until we make a commitment to see to it that every child, regardless of where that child lives, in the poorest, most remote community in the state, is afforded the same level of education that children in the most affluent communities receive. And if we put that measurement on it, we still have a long way to go.
As the June kickoff event came to a close, students were already feeling emotionally connected to the tasks before them.
I'm in the same sentiment as everybody else. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. When I got the letter that said I got accepted, I cried. I was like, I was blown away. And I've been blown away from the second I stepped off the plane and met you all and everything like that.
And they, every summer on our campus, we bring together students from all over the southeast region of this country. A little over 6 weeks, we just devote ourselves to them, and they devote themselves to them. And honestly, I think I learn more from them than they learn from me. But they build with Habitat for Humanity. They go to nursing homes and work with the elderly.
I get choked up, every time we have a speaker, I'm like, oh God, this is such an opportunity. I can't believe it, it's just like they're paying, like we were talking about, they're paying us to do this. What? We should be paying them, for coming out and talking to us and stuff. Okay, don't get mad at me.
Someone taking some medication.
With encouragement from SEF leaders, site coordinators, and supporters, interns left the June event and headed to their respective summer programs. Their work found them at a variety of sites, building new relationships, providing research, learning about the ongoing work of different organizations, and perhaps more importantly, discovering how they can be actively engaged in creating positive change.
Very nice contrast between
daunting.
Georgia High School.
Is that really hard? Is that difficult?
Their summer internships completed, students came together again to renew friendships, share their experiences, and begin to plan for continuing their commitment. Each student was given an opportunity to present the results of their internships, what they learned, and how they participated. As a result, each intern was exposed to the full array of possibilities for affecting change, including community and church-based programs, youth services, public policy, and education reform initiatives.
In this day and age, especially with the 50th anniversary of Brown and the state of public schools, I thought this was something that could really enhance a lot of what I do, and I could really bring something to the table as well with my experience in the church.
There's a great need for black churches in the area of early childhood education. Churches as institutions within the community are in the best position to serve children either by providing space for programs to function or running programs themselves. In many communities, the only institution, the only structure that's present is the black church. And so finding a way to work through the black church would be an ideal way of reaching children and reaching the community on a myriad of issues. When you lose hope, you allow the powers that be, evil powers, powers that are bent on keeping people where they are. You give them, you feed them, you give them impetus to remain in the place that they're in. You have to continue to maintain hope. You have to have hope that no matter what, we're going to get to where we need to be. And so in closing, I would say that many of us in our relationship to the black church is an in and out relationship. There's some disappointment and there's some praise. But through it all, we have to remain hopeful that in our participation and in our action, there will be an effective change for young people and for all people and for all communities who are oppressed. So that's my presentation.
Well, I expected to be dealing with issues of inequity and opportunity in education in terms of America and American race relations, and I ended up working on international issues of poverty and inequity, and it was very interesting. It showed me a new side. Showed me that the world in America, we really are intertwined with each other and affect each other, and it's important not to leave the rest of the world out in our struggle.
All too often, especially recently, America's acted independently of the rest of the world. We must realize that people and nations are connected to one another and our actions affect each other. We must work together to fight poverty because it's not just a problem in America or just a problem abroad, it's all of our problem everywhere. And our society is young today, but we're the adults of tomorrow, and 80% of us are at risk of not receiving a quality education. And it's going to be a serious problem in the coming years when we're expected to be the world's leaders in the world's workforce.
It cemented the notion that I need to be in the classroom, helping my community, and being a positive role model. It clicked when all the children were coming to me for advice or coming to me just to help them, just to not to actually tell them what to do, but just to listen to them and to understand. You can be on welfare, you can not have money for lunch, you could not have the latest sneakers, but I'm here and you can do the same thing. So that's the biggest thing. This summer, had the same internship working in Atlanta, Georgia, working with an organization called Family First. It's really changed my life. It's really changed my life. It was a safe haven for foster kids, child abuse victims, neglect, adoption. It provided counseling for different families. It also provided counseling on teen pregnancy. I really have a passion with the young men, and in the morning our sessions were really, really, really powerful. Our sessions included discussions on reparation, police violence, crime, the roots of slavery, politics, and my favorite, the woes of being a dark-skinned African-American male.
Before the interns left, SEF leaders had one more chance to underscore the significance of their summer intern experience, noting that many had gained new perspectives, new direction, and in some cases, inspiration to choose a new career path.
In terms of expectation, it has superseded our expectation, I think largely because of the caliber of students that we were able to attract as well as retain in this program. Not only do they look sharp on paper, but they are sharp people. They care, they're passionate. It's a spirit that is there that I don't think we anticipated that spirit. We charter new waters dealing in this environment. The students who are here today, 34 of them, they win because they have gone out of their comfort zone, experienced something, and in many ways, it's charted a new course for them. We win because we took a risk, and the risk paid off big. The sites win because they received positive energy. So I think we're all winners. And as we look at our political landscape, there has to be an effort of reaching back to who is going to be the next Colin Powell, who's going to be the next George Bush, who's going to be the next John Kerry, who's going to be the next whomever, and how do we position those people, those men and women, to do that? This is a program that does that. It's an awesome opportunity, and it's just going to get better from here.
In the final analysis, the SEF Education Summer Internship Program did indeed chart new waters. Brown versus Board of Education was the starting point, but the future of quality education depends on today's young people who understand the roots of social activism and who have the courage and commitment to push for change.
These students care, and so they will be engaged. And the only question is the stick-to-itiveness. Once they get engaged, to stay focused. But one of the students asked, there's no more important issue in our country today than quality education for our children. The future of the nation depends on it.
We've gotten a tremendously talented, inspiring group of young people involved in this program, and I'm very, very proud of them. It is a fulfillment of our dream.